Good morning. This week we are basically getting through all our maintenance. We've started a landscaping project in near West Horsley, and we've basically got to get through all our work ready for bank holiday, because it means obviously we're not working on Monday, so the maintenance that we usually have on that day we have to fit in either next week or we have to fit it in this week, kind of towards the end of the week, so that we don't miss the visit, and so obviously the gardens still look good. One thing on discussion for this week, and it goes on kind of the maintenance of the landscape because we're doing both, is what is better, both from obviously a commercial perspective but also from a team perspective. I get a lot of feedback from the people that work here, and I'm the same in terms of, with the maintenance, generally the work is it's less intense. It's more repetitive, but it's less intense in kind of landscaping or extra work, you know, heavy lifting, doing big hedge cuts, doing tree work, that sort of stuff. It tends to be a little bit more intense, a little bit more heavier and harder physically. Maintenance is lower intensity but more repetitive, more monotonous, more sometimes tedious. And so when we're trying to keep building the company and moving it forward, I think there's a fine line between how much maintenance you take on to obviously keep the work there, keep building the business, but also the balance between that and the extra work, because doing the same gardens every week, clients obviously want the same people from a trust perspective, from a familiarity perspective, but also the issue with the maintenance is that it can get a little bit boring. And unless you're working with clients that are constantly trying to improve their garden, and so, you know, there's extra work on top of it, and things are changing and it's becoming interesting and continues to become interesting, it can get tedious. And so I'd be open to people's opinions on what they think is a fine balance. Some people love maintenance, that's all they do, and they might intersperse it with a little bit of lawn care work or hedge cutting. But for us, I mean, we can take on, you know, that we have always can take on lots of maintenance. We always get maintenance inquiries, but to be honest, at the moment we're knocking back about 50% of them, because if they don't work with what we want and as a client, and they're not really looking for improvement, they're just looking for kind of the basic standard maintenance, that isn't what we're looking to offer. I'd be intrigued at people's opinions on what's better, maintenance or landscaping. My opinion, the landscaping, the extra work is interesting. It allows you to keep developing, keep learning on the job, and although maintenance, there's a hell of a lot to learn, if it's just the bare basic stuff, for us it's not what we're looking for. Lawn to take up here. All of this is coming up. We're then going to put meter beds on either side, ready for some planting and new lawn. Any questions, Victor?
Yeah, no question.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, let's crack on.
There we go. Grass is up, we're rotating now. Any words?
I can't hear you.
No words. What are we doing?
Shopping some plants.
Shopping for some plants for a planter up in Belgravia. We've got a few to do, so we are getting some plants. Always a challenge, because you have to, obviously, it's a stab in the dark as to what the client will end up liking. Colour is of importance, but sometimes you put it in and think it looks excellent, and some clients don't like it as much or whatever. What do you think, Victor?
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
What plant should we get?
Well, we have these nice
Hydrangeas.
white hydrangeas.
Should we get some contrasting trailing plants to hang over the top?
Yeah, to put in front of them.
Like what?
Vinca.
Vinca, there we go.
Everybody loves Vinca.
Maybe purple. Everybody loves Vinca.
I can't see any. Those are nice as well, bro.
Very colourful.
Should be some
Very
fun,
colourful.
You know? Should be on a... Oh, we're on the other side.
The thing on maintenance is obviously it's a good projector to keep growing your business. But the reality is, and I speak to a lot of people and a lot of company owners, and when they go to a certain level, what you find is the price range for maintenance, it doesn't become worth it. You know, it's you grow to a certain size. Once you've got to pay all expenses, all overheads, staff, and everything that comes with it. To be honest with you, for the same amount of hassle you get from clients to ensure things are upheld to a good standard, which of course you always want to do, and everything that comes with it, it's, to be honest with you, sometimes not worth the hassle. And that's why with us, we're trying to focus on gardens where, I've said it before, clients value the work that we do. They like their garden and they want to improve it constantly. So what it allows us to do is intersperse the maintenance, but also intersperse a little bit of creativity, a bit of interest, a bit of extra work, sometimes a little bit of hard landscaping as well as soft landscaping with planting. And yeah, it just gives us and my staff a bit more interest. No one wants to do, in any job, in any industry, go in and do the same thing. It becomes repetitive. And not just in gardening, but just in any industry. If you do the same thing every day, every week, it becomes repetitive. So you constantly want to kind of introduce new things. And that's where the extra work is so important. And that's why we're trying to intersperse a lot more of it. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm moving in that direction to basically base a lot more of our business on extra work rather than in the past it's been mainly based on maintenance. And it's got us this far, don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to get rid of it, but it takes up a lot of time and it restricts people's abilities to keep moving forward and learning. When people come on board with us, they want to, usually they come on board and they learn how to do the job and learn how to do the job to a good standard. And a high standard, and then they continue to keep learning on jobs that we do. But if they come on board and let's say they do 2 days a week maintenance or 3 days a week maintenance, for the rest of the week they're then brought on board and they're doing extra work, it adds, you know, bits to their locker and knowledge and skill to their locker in terms of what they can do, so that, you know, later in life if they move on from us as a company and go somewhere else, they've got extra skills. But also if they don't move on and they choose to stay with us and they choose to progress with us as a business, then they're constantly seeing like a way forward and they're developing and they're improving, which is what every human being should, in my opinion, want to do. And subconsciously, even if they don't want to do it on the face of it, I think subconsciously they do, and people if they're constantly stimulated and learning, they tend to enjoy the job that they do anyway, a lot more than if they're just coming in and doing, you know, mundane tasks and the same stuff all the time. So like I've said, we're not there yet, but we're definitely moving in that direction, and we're definitely trying to take on more of that type of work, more of that high-end kind of extra jobs and landscaping work, and then move slowly in that direction. Well, not slowly, quickly. I want to move quickly in that direction. It just takes time. Our pipeline of work is fantastic, and our lead funnel is great. We're constantly inundated with leads every week, but currently it probably sits at about a 70-30 split on 70% maintenance leads coming in and 30% extra work. Really, I want it the other way around. I want 70% extra work and 30% maintenance, so that we can keep driving forward in this direction. So to do that, we're now changing our marketing tactics, the way we're doing our marketing, the way we kind of operate our website and certain ads that we run, to keep pushing in that direction. Tuesday, and we are off up to London. We're doing a little refresh on some window boxes, and then we've got to go back to Egham and run in some soil ready for turf, which is going down tomorrow. This is part of this turfing job that we dug out yesterday. So hopefully the sun comes out and it's a little bit more joyous, because currently it's bleak and grim. This is the box we're replacing. Didn't even look that bad, to be honest with you. These are gone over. Client wanted some hydrangeas, so we've got some hydrangeas that we're going to put in, and then we're going to put some variegated ivy to dangle over the top, and hopefully Hopefully it'll fit. Oh yeah, loads of space. Block the whole pavement. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Get me that, pass me that.
The ivy.
Yeah. Should we use that one or the variegated? I think the variegated. This is what we've got. Got hydrangeas with variegated ivy draping over the bottom. Should look good. And that is job done. Nice. When they all come into white flower, they should look beautiful. I'm in the vest today because, well, to be honest with you, I'm in the vest all year round, but particularly today because it is an absolute cracker, hitting on the van 31 degrees, and apparently tomorrow, Monday, is going to be warmer, but it's bank holiday, so we're not actually in, unfortunately, against my will, but you know, that's life. But no, we're not in tomorrow, Monday, and then we're back Tuesday. And next week we've got an interesting one. I am going to see if I can run this business from somewhere else. Turf has started going down. Been here about half an hour, nearly done. That is job done. Another garden doing maintenance. Got Luke over there shaping up these cubes. This one is doing as well. And over there, we've got another job we do. Victor's over there doing maintenance as well. This garden is done. That olive tree suffered this year, so we fed it and watered it. What people tend to find is where it's an olive tree, they think it's used to Mediterranean countries, they put them in pots and don't water them, but the reality is they need a lot of water to survive. Beautiful. Nice work there. Planting, I've got these laurels to go in. They're going along this run where we ripped out, this run here where we ripped out last week. And then we've got some 6-footers which are going to go in over there to continue this laurel hedge. Laurels are in and in here as well. Irrigation pipe has been run. It looks good. Unfortunately, Victor may have not have survived.
He's no longer with us. R.I.P. Victor. May God rest in peace.
Viking burial music. Victor! He's alive. On the cleaning side of the business as well, and this kind of blends into the whether it's maintenance or landscaping, and is it worth it? The cleaning side of the business is very similar. So with CS Clean, it's a similar sort of model in terms of with the gardening you take on maintenance and then you have extra work. With the cleaning you take on maintenance, the window cleaning, the regular every 6 weeks, every 4 weeks or every 8 week cleans, and then you've got the extra work. You've got the gutter cleaning, you've got the patios, you know, the jet washing, the driveways, patios, that sort of stuff. But again, it's the same business model. You have your maintenance that keeps you ticking, and then you have the extra work, which is usually a little bit more interesting and engaging. But basically we're just balancing that fine line between making it worth it and commercially viable, and also making it interesting and more interesting for the boys and the people we bring on. I want people to be interested at work and driving forward at work and not be stale and uninterested and moany and, oh, you know, this, that and the other, because they're bored. And so if that is the case, then I think it's time to move on and find something more interesting. We're trying to do that here, but it takes time. And so we're looking for people who have the knowledge, have the skill, and also want to develop. So they've got to have a base level ability to do certain jobs, but they also want to develop. and that will be in both the cleaning side of the business with the window cleaning, because before I did this job I thought it was fairly straightforward. Window cleaning with water-fed pole is actually a skill to make sure that it's done properly. So I doff my hat to every window cleaner out there who does it well, because it's a skill to get done, to do right, to do properly. And also with the jet washing, I mean, we've always done jet washing, but obviously with this van and doing the cleaning side of things, we've ramped it up a level. But even again, with that, it's a skill, knowing the right chemicals, knowing the right products to put on certain stones, whether it's limestone, sandstone, porcelain, whatever it is, knowing the right pressures to work at to ensure stone doesn't get damaged. There's so much involved, and we're learning every single day. And this is why it's in my opinion, it's a good opportunity to come on board with a company like us, because you do learn every day, and we're not a massive firm. We're very agile in terms of how we work, and there's new things brought on board and new ideas every other week. So yeah, there's constant opportunity to develop. But equally, I want people that are in a position where they want to learn and they want to move forward. And if they don't and they're stale, then that's fine. Move aside and let us carry on. Maintenance worth it. What are your opinions, Victor?
Yeah, it is. Depends how you do it.
Okay, but do you find that it can sometimes become tedious and monotonous when we're working with clients that don't want to add value and creativity and difference to the garden?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do some houses,
Glad he agreed.
which they big gardens,
Yeah.
lovely gardens with a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So in order to keep that in shape,
Yeah.
all the hedges, all the balls, all the topiary, everything,
Yeah.
all the beds, all the flowers, all the roses, wisteria, everything, you gotta go weekly.
Yeah. Okay. So that's important. But in
Yeah.
terms of adding value to the garden, do you find that more interesting, or do you prefer it when it's just get in, cut, trim, blow, do a bit of bed work, and get out?
No, I'd rather add more value than do that.
There we go. And that's my
Yeah,
thoughts.
yeah.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
I quite like doing gardens.
Okay.
I feel like garden maintenance is a very crochet to the company.
Crochet, I don't think that makes sense, Jake, but carry on. It may make sense.
It will.
I'm not sure.
To my
Yep.
number one fans.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I prefer going into a garden, making it look prim and proper instead of, going, get in, get out.
Yep.
Adding sentimental value to the garden.
Sentimental, good. Yeah.
Is the
Important.
key to my heart.
Cool.
That's it.
So on the garden maintenance side of things as well, obviously where we're now trying to increase our marketing towards kind of more the landscaping, the extra work, the planting, soft landscaping, hard landscaping, that side of things, and reverse that 70-30 split to maintenance and extra work, incoming leads, and yeah, do it the other way around. So we have 70% kind of incoming of extra work and 30% of maintenance. There lies a large opportunity, because what's happening is where we're having all this maintenance coming in, we're having to knock it back and get rid of it. Because we can't do it. We haven't got enough men. The model we're trying to move down, this boutique model and this kind of niche model in terms of picking and choosing what work we do, means that we're no longer going to take on every maintenance job. When I started, I took on every single job, every single one, big or small, we do it. And the thing is, it works when you start, it works when you're trying to build, but when you're confined to obviously X amount of staff, and we're still growing, we're still trying to take on new staff, but in a little bit more of a controlled and planned direction rather than reactive and chaotic, shall we say. So we've still got these leads, and I don't want them to go to waste. So in the future, there is going to be, we are going to introduce like a partner program. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we're essentially, people come on board with us as partners, and we feed them our maintenance and our, not just maintenance, our leads for our other work as well. But stay tuned for that. If you're interested, get in touch in becoming a partner with us, and we will send you some more details on that. In conclusion, is garden maintenance worth it? Yes, it's worth it, but depending on how big you want to grow your business, it's worth it to an extent. There is a certain type of client that it's worth it, that's worth doing until you get to a certain stage of lead generation. And then when you get to a certain stage of lead generation, you've got a lot of pipeline and you've got better jobs, I would then say it's always worth it, because it keeps you ticking in the winter, in the quieter months, and maintenance feeds you extra work. The clients that you work with usually want extra bits done throughout the year. But I would say, depending on the size of your team, there's a lot of overheads that come with maintenance. It's the lowest margin service with the highest need for staff, and that doesn't quite add up. You know, you've got lowest margins, but then you need the most amount of people to do it. Whereas you've got landscaping and these usually slightly higher margin jobs, and they don't require as many men, as many staff, and as many potential headaches and overheads and vans and whatever else that comes with it. So it's definitely worth it, but just all I would say is, before you take on every maintenance job that comes your way, just think about how you'd like to move your business forward and what you'd like to do and achieve with it, because it may be the case that you end up further down the line letting clients go because you can't service everyone to the standard that you need to obviously keep your business in the limelight and keeping it moving forward. Cracker lacquer of a week done at CS Gardens. Jake's put his vest back on because he was sunbathing, and yeah, so let me know your thoughts on the topic of the week. Anything to add, anyone? Let's do a full pan.
Lovely weather.
Lovely. Cheers, Will.
Best weather going.
Best weather going. Jake.
Oh my God, look at my gut.
Victor.
Yeah, the saddest day in CS Garden. The boss is going on holiday.
It is sad. It's a very sad moment for
not.
everyone
It's
involved.
Let him go.
A lot of love here, do you see? A lot of love. Anyway, like, comment and subscribe, and hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Ciao. Huh?
Start a GoFundMe so I can get a medium vest instead of a large.
We've run out of tops and there's no budget left for a uniform, so he's on large.